Hey everyone, welcome back to Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, where last time we actually got this ginormous beauty over here by finishing off a couple trading quests that actually made it so we had to like run across Hyrule a couple times. And we started off the water temple by actually going all the way down, lowering the water level, getting a couple keys, bringing it up, and then bringing it up again. And now, in order to head this way, you should at least have 2 keys by this point. In order to head through this door here, we have 1 more key that we need in order to get through. As you can tell on the other side, it's another locked door. So we gotta be a little bit careful in order to actually get through here. So if you haven't got if you haven't got a key, make sure to head back through a bunch of rooms you haven't accessed yet in order to get them. Because right now we got everything that we could possibly get. All these rooms should be checked off on your list if you actually went through the dungeon properly at this point. So just make sure to check every nook and cranny. So for now, this little area, in order to get through here, you just kind of go through here, and we gotta use the hook shot to get around. So this becomes a little bit of a hassle because this is constantly moving here, and we need to be able to reach that in order to get up here. So we need to wait on this lowers just enough in order to be able to reach this. I also like that the map keeps changing because of like where we're at on it. But yeah, we reached that one, and now that we're on these, we have to be as quick as possible in order to keep going upwards. Because we only have the hook shot, we only can reach a certain amount of range. So there we go, and we are up. And now that we got this extra key, like I mentioned, we can head through here. And we're all set for this, we just need to figure this out. Which, as you can tell, there's a lot of tech types, which we are going to kind of handle them really quick because they're annoying. What? That was weird. That's so weird. Why does that happen? Oh yeah, let's hit this in order to actually raise this up. And you'll notice, hey, hookshot point. And you notice there's a hookshot point there and a hookshot point there. And as you can tell, this switch turned blue. So that means we can hit it one more time in order to lower it. And as you can tell by doing that, we can actually head over here and climb this. And climb this. There we go, Link. And in order to get over to that one, we need to hit it once more in order to be able to use the hook shot to get over here. And then lower it once more, allowing us to climb on this. And then all we gotta do is just raise it. And that'll allow us to get enough height to actually reach up here. Hi. And we also have a like to deal with, so let's deal with him really quick. Because as you can tell, they kind of were jerks about programming this area. Because if you look up, you would go like, wee! And if you didn't notice the like, you'll just fall right in it. And you'll just be like, nom nom, I eat your stuff. And you're like, oh, well, great. Let's get some more magic because we are going to need it. Because as you can tell, this room is very, very fancy. Very fancy indeed. So if we head through here, we got a nice little reflection going on. And then a locked door. Nothing going on here, but if we turn around and actually look around, we still don't see anything. Nothing, but we get close enough to this tree, we see you. Dark Link, conquer yourself. There are a multitude of ways of doing this. You can use Din's Fire in order to get free hits in. Or use the Megaton Hammer, because if you use anything else, he kind of just like rolls around, dodges all this stuff. So it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle. Din's Fire is a surefire solution. The Megaton Hammer is a decent solution as well, but it's slow and you leave yourself open to attacks. When you use the Master Sword normally, what it does is he just kind of like messes with you a lot. So you pretty much just gotta hit him as much as you can, but he tends to block a lot of attacks, so you can't really get in there. But the next solution is using the Big Iron Sword. He has no defense for this, so if you have it, you can pretty much just demolish him. So like he can block it, he can do all that stuff, he can dodge all your attacks still, but with the range of this thing, he cannot like handle you like at all. Makes that fight a little bit trivial, and that is pretty much the best reason to have the bigger on sword at this point. Because yes, it does a lot of damage, but it also makes that battle much easier as a result. And what is our prize for defeating Dark Link? We get the long shots. Basically, the barrel is slightly bigger, so it has a lot more chain to it. So we have a shot that goes twice as far, which is really, really handy. Link, I hit down. I hit down. Okay. Okie dokie then. The worst part is I remember the song, but still like kind of went to it anyway because I've been used to going to it to look. But yeah, we have the long shot, so we're gonna be making quite a lot of use of that. So we head down here and we notice that we are in this ginormous area on the map. So as you can tell, we have one that looks exactly like it as well, right below it, or above it, I should say. They look about the same. So this one here is just pretty much just a little bit of a area. This one's a little bit of a drop. So kind of just had to look around here. Link, be careful, don't get swallowed by the vortexes, thank you. Yeah, you see a bunch of vortexes around. So what we can do is we could use the iron boots to kind of safely guide ourselves around. Or be very, very cautious to not fall in any of these areas. There is a lot of areas where we can kind of just swim and avoid it, which is pretty nice. But also we have a golden skulltula right here. So now that we have the long shot, we can reach it, no problem. There we go. And looks like you can tell that there's these hills. You'll slide down them and it becomes a big hassle to get out of them. So just make sure that you are swimming just properly in order to like reach ledges and stuff. That way you kind of just avoid all the hassle. And we got a couple pots here, which thankfully enough, we could just kind of do that. And I wish that would have been useful, but it's really not. And then we have an entrance, or yeah, an entrance to Doom right there, I should say, because that's pretty much just the end of it. So all we need to do is do this. And we have a little bit of time. Gives us a little bit more time than before. But yeah, we just do that and we get right through. Which gives us a small key, which we're going to need. And you remember this room here? Now we're back in here. But now that we have the long shot, we can access pretty much every other room that we weren't able to before. So if we want to get any extra bonuses and stuff, we're gonna need to raise the water lower. Water the lower. Lower the water level. Blah, 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 in order to actually get around. Which, again, isn't too hard to do, since all we gotta do is just kind of pay attention and be focused to where we're going. But yeah, if we look at the map once more, you notice that on this level there is a chest there, which there's 2 chests. So you can go for this one here, which is just kind of an extra chest, or go for this one here, which is more than likely the boss key, because the 3rd floor only has that. So, what we can do, that was weird, is we can head back into the middle room in order to actually get that extra chest. In order to do that, we pretty much have access to this whole dungeon now. We can go wherever the heck we want. So, if we go back up to here, in order to bring it down to half, sadly, we need to lower it down to the bottom and then bring it back up to half. It's a little bit of a hassle, and I wish there was ways to get around that, but there isn't. So this is where probably the confusion sets in for a lot of people, because they're like, oh, how I can just go back there, but then it's like, oh, I can't actually do that. Okay, so the water level has been lowered, and I'm thankful I said that right this time. Okay. Gotta love pre-programmed falls that don't do any damage to you. But yeah, if you just want to get back up to that area right over there, which is where we're going to be heading, we need to actually bring the water level back up. Which, now that we have the long shot, heading over here actually does give us a little bit more access to this room. Because this room before, we couldn't quite reach everything. So if we take a look around, we notice there's a little bit more up above. So let's raise the water level. Just so we had that for later. And it's going to show us that every time, sadly. But now that the water level has been raised to where we need it for the extra part, let's actually head up a little bit further. Notice that kind of see something there. If we head over here, we can see something right up there, which we can hit and fling up here. If we take a look around, there is a Skulltula right there. There we go, there's another one down. And is that all of them? That is not all of them. There's still one more somewhere. And I have an idea where it may be, but I am not quite sure. But we do have some more of the dungeon to visit anyway, so we're gonna eventually see it. All right. So now, in order to get over here quick enough, we need to use this. And then aim this immediately and do that. And now that we have that, this block should still be in its position from before, and we could just push it out of the way. Right into there where it falls again, so we can't move it. So this gives us this extra chest. So it's like, oh, hey, what's this? And it's a small key. So okay, I can access a different room now. And now that that's all set, we can head back the way we... Actually, no, we can't. I forgot about that. Gate that just shut. You can actually use this. Right here in order to go over here. And if you want to get over there without the water level being there, you can just do that and you're good. And we don't really necessarily need to raise the water level again, but we can actually just check all the rooms off here. We visited pretty much every room except for the 1F and BF rooms there, and aside from that one. So what we can do is we could use the Scarecrow. Was that thing just like glitching out with his legs? You can use the Scarecrow or just go all the way around. The Scarecrow makes that a little bit easier. Badly positioned, but okay. And raise it one last time. We should be good there. We shouldn't need to move it anymore. And we can head down below. Because heading down below now, it doesn't matter what level the water is, but that's just for later on. We're just prepping for later on. We don't really need to worry too much about that. Because down here, it doesn't really matter where the water level is. It's always going to be ending right here in this room. Because it has like a weird siphoning system going on to where if you like... The easiest way to describe it is if you want to fill like a fish tank up with water and like you don't want to like put it directly under the sink, what you could do is you could actually like use like a tube or whatever. You would suck in some water into the tube, and if you like, you basically just put it all the way through. Like say you're like trying to fill like one fish tank from one to another or something like that, and you're trying to get the water out without using any like methods. You suck it all the way through, and basically that suction that you did is you just gotta get it directly to right next to you. You don't need to like start drinking the water or whatever. You get it right next to you, and then you put that end into the other like tank, and then the water will just constantly be going through. It's essentially that system, but in reverse. So the water is going to stay. Can you stop jumping? I'm out of arrows, so you're making this a little bit more complicated for me. It doesn't matter, I'm okay. I just gotta get right over here, climb up, and go over here. All right, so that brings us right into here, where we notice... What do we got down there? These things! Stingers, destroy before it flies into you. That's like your instruction for everything, by the way. Which, that didn't really help me out too much, because, yeah. Whoops. There we go. It's one of the buttons. As you can tell, there is a bombable wall on both of these sides. We're going to need to make use of that by going back and forth. It's weird like that. Okay, that's all handled. We got all that set up. Because what we need to do is actually put that siphoning action into use by hitting that switch and like basically making the water flow go through. So we push this. Wait, are they seriously trying to attack me right now? I'm in a completely different room. Okay, you tried and failed horribly. But yeah, all we really need to do is if we look over here on the floor, I'm going to do that now. We look on the floor here. If we line it up with just about here, what we could do is go back around and then we can push it, no problem. Because this box is like the ultimate iron boot, so it's never gonna come off and it's gonna stay down there always. But sadly, if physics were like actually a thing when you actually move these blocks, what would happen is the block would fall at a slight angle and then just kind of get jammed. And then like, considering how big it is, you would never be able to move it. So, yeah. But that allows us to get over here, no problem. Which brings us right into here with a switch and a very long chasm with 2 enemies on the other side. And it looks like 3 little things. So what we could do is hit this switch. And we gotta be very careful, especially since I'm out of arrows. So I kinda gotta judge myself just properly so I can avoid slamming into them and falling all the way down. There we go. And that brings us right up here, which, as you can tell, this room is very familiar. Right down there is that big square room that we went in. So all we gotta do is just kind of, just be like very slightly cautious. Watch this rock like hit nothing and then just go. Let's get you. And then make sure to get over here before that rocks hit us in the face. And go right over here and get you. Also, now that we have that all taken care of, was that the final golden spatula here? It's still not. Wow, there's another one. Okay. Ooh, I kinda want that. Thank you. Another one which I will just use for health purposes. But yeah, let's get this last chest in this dungeon. We pretty much accessed every single room possible. And I am still sadly missing a golden spatula, which I need to find. And that guy's back, which immediately hit me, so that's fun. Okay. Okay. There is another little area over there, but it looks like I can't actually access it. Also, I forgot I had arrows again. Is the golden spatula up there? Huh. I'm just gonna head towards the boss because I could easily head back in here and get it if I so choose. It's not a terrible loss by any means. Because I could just access like this whole dungeon. And it's the only other room that I haven't actually... I'm just gonna go up. Hi, bye. Because I still technically have one whole area I haven't been into yet. So it's entirely possible that it could be there. I just can't think of where it would be. Let me grab onto you. They're being very generous with the fairies in this dungeon, by the way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cast Fiore's Wind because I'm still missing a golden spatula. This one you actually need to have the long shot for. So, if we... let me pull up the map really quick. If we head back towards the way where we're heading towards Dark Link on that waterfall, with the long shot, what we can do is if we look to the right, we can shoot it and grab it. pretty easy. It's a little bit out of the way, so it is really missable. You kind of need to head back towards the way that you normally want to go. But with that, we're gonna head right back towards the boss because that's a little mini short detour. And here we are. So all we really need to do now is just make sure that we get up this no problem, which is pretty simple. You just need to be careful because what happens is the moment we let go of the pad, we'll slide back down. And there we go. All right, so we have a pool of water. Link, look out, that isn't normal water over there. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Thank you for that knowledge. Yeah, it's like you look around and you're like, oh, that's not normal water. It's going way too quickly. So all we gotta do is just get right over here. And we see the giant aquatic amoeba, Morpha. Which this boss is a little bit of a hassle, so the easiest way to get around it is to head back over here, get out of the way, because wherever it's going to be, what it's going to do is actually kinda like do this with this thing here. And then what we need to do is just do that. And I missed him. Come on. All right, now that we have him in our sights, the master of the water temple has absolute control of water. Pull it out of his nucleus to attack it. I think you mean pull it out of the water. I don't know. So what we need to do is, so we don't get it to bounce back in the water like it does, like that. What we need to do is just kind of get it in a spot where we can kind of keep it out of the water. So in order to beat this boss, we need to get it out of its element. So we just wait for it, grab it, and then start attacking it. The moment it gets caught on some surface that it can't actually get back into the water, it's gonna have some problems. So now that it's back in the water, it's back in its element, we just need to go over here and get out of the way, because what it actually does, it makes more like little tentacle things, so we need to make sure to not get touched by it. How did I miss that? There you are. Okay, so it's gonna be in the water. So there's one there, there's one there. So what I got to do is just kind of run away now. And make sure to not get touched by any of those. How did I miss that? Okay, I need to kind of get lined up just right in order to hit it. All right, and that's Morpha. So we'll head down here, and actually make sure to grab the heart piece before you go, because a lot of people forget to grab this thing. There we go, that puts us at 16. Link, I would have expected no less from the man I chose to be my husband. Zora's domain and its people will eventually return to their original state. As a reward, I grant my eternal love to you. Well, that's what I want to say, but I don't think I could offer that now. I have to guard the water temple as the sage of water. And you're searching for the Princess Zelda? Ha! You can't hide anything from me. Princess Zelda, she's alive. I can sense it. So, don't be discouraged. I can tell that nothing will stop you in your quest for justice and peace. You must take this medallion. Take it respectfully. You received the water medallion. Ruto awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. If you see Sheik, please give him my thanks, okay? As the water rises, the evil is vanishing from the lake. Link, you did it! Ruto wanted to thank me? I see. We have to return peace to Hyrule for her sake too, don't we? Look at that, Link. Together, you and Princess Ruto destroyed the evil monster. She didn't do much of anything, but okay! Once again, the lake is filled with pure water. All is as it was here. Alright, so we just saw Sheik dive right over here, right? This kind of gives us a little clue here. When water fills the lake, shoot for the morning light. So it is morning now, so we have a couple arrows. Let's shoot directly up. And we'll head over there and grab that item. Which in this case, we could also just use Pierre to get here quicker if we felt like, but we get to swim. In order to get the fire arrow, any target it strikes will catch fire. It's pretty useful. It is one of our many, many useful items here, which, there we go. We select it on the bottom screen, and then we could change it at any point. So what that does is we could shoot a bow made of fire. Well, an arrow made of fire anyway, so, yeah. Pretty neat. So the water temple is completed. We have all the sculpturas in that area. We are all set. So, right now we do know we have a couple areas that we could head to. And if you are completely lost at this point, Navi will guide you in the right direction the moment that she decides to speak up. But we're gonna head to Kakariko Village next, because that is the next area in our lineup, and also it's blinking in our map here. If we look down on our map, it shows two areas are blinking. In this case, Kakariko Village and Gerudo Valley. So we can head to either or at this point, but we're gonna head to Kakariko. So next time on Azure Plays more Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. We'll head straight there. I'll see you all then.